Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Quick look again at Bitcoin. Just an update this afternoon essentially from our video from before if you might have missed that. Perhaps you saw it already and you're kind of curious what's going on now. All that stuff we're going to cover here. Now, just to quickly touch on this, we are slowly breaking outside of the cloud here, essentially to the downside. Lagging spans free and clear. The hourly looks fairly bearish, okay? But I want you to recognize too that just because the hourly is potentially going to pull back doesn't mean we're going to go to the ground. I do think we have a strong convergence in the overall sentiment here. So try not to get too blindsided by the fact that I'm talking about the price pulling back. It's likely going to be temporary or tentative. At least that's the goal, right? Either way you look at it, you're new to the channel, hit the like button, comment below if you get a chance. Love to hear it. And more importantly, help grow the channel. CryptoCache.tech is a site, link down below if you're curious, and feel free to check that out in your own time. Now, what I want to look at here really quick is back in liquidation data. Kind of see what's going on here for Bitcoin, because when we looked at this last, I doubt it's going to change too much. We had a lot of liquidation above the price action, closer to 67K, between 65.3 and 67. You can kind of see that here with this darker spot above. But we're starting to see a little bit more accumulation here at about 62/63,000. So more longs are getting confident at that 63K range. I think that's kind of hasty, personally. I don't think it's ideal to consider long at this point, just because I do feel like 62K range should be tested here soon, mainly because we have some fair value gaps there on multiple time frames and a handful of other contributing factors we'll show you here in a little bit. But again, from a macro perspective, the price should continue higher in the overall sense, but at this point, I think it makes it's more sensible to presume the price goes down before it goes up, okay? That's kind of the concept there. So when we looked at this recently here, or earlier, there's this little bit of a range here, so just to kind of touch on it, this isn't official or exact, but if you can see here, the price action kind of stuck inside of a range, down as low as about 63.5, upwards of 64.5. So it's basically a $1,000 range. The price kept jumping up and down. Now, granted, that was a weekend, low volume, however you put it. It was stuck in that range and it broke free to the downside here so far. Not a definitive break, doesn't it close below, or more so, it didn't drop below and just like instantly reject. Sometimes you'll see prices break below and then retest that previous support as a resistance. We haven't really seen that, but we're starting to get an accumulation there of resistance at the 63.5 mark. So the more time we spend here, the more likely it is to break to the downside. So it's just kind of like an hourly observation. We look at the daily time frame. We can recognize a few other things here too. Again, this hasn't changed much since earlier, but we're above the 200-day SMA, kind of maintaining right there at 0.236. So 63.5 is a tentative support level. Keep in mind, tentative is the word you want to emphasize here, just based on the simple fact that SMA should be treated with respect, but also more importantly, just it's kind of a range. It's not like it's the price is instantly going to go shoot straight up because we hit the 200-day SMA. As you can see, we've broken through it previously. We've rejected off it recently. Like, there's a lot of things that are present, but it's not like a big deal. It's just nice to be above the 200. If we can maintain above that for a few more days, there's a solid chance we're going to see the price probably continue higher from here, right? But immediately, I would say we're more likely to pull back. Stochastic starting to swing down, which we've seen quite a few stochastic FUs, so to speak, where the price or the moving averages or exponential moving averages are effectively trying to bounce off each other instead of breaking below. Because again, generally speaking, when you see a divergence or convergence of any sort, usually there's a shift in momentum to follow. This has been faking us out for a while now, and it's starting to actually happen, so all the more reason why that could in fact occur. Now, I don't put a lot of emphasis on that. I like to look at everything, but it is something that's still relevant. We're over 50 on the RSI, which is a bullish sign. Okay, so again, we're above most important moving averages too, the 50 and the 20-day, also running fairly concurrent with this ascending trend. Okay, so again, we're in good shape with the trend line here, and the overall sentiment is, I would say, still positive. However, we look at the 4-hour time frame, we can see some kinks or some cracks in the glass or whatever. I still need to find a good analogy for that. But the truth here is we're under the 20-day SMA. That's usually the initial trend setter that I like to look for. That lets me know that, hey, we're probably shifting gears. That concurrent with the fact that we've broken free from this lower support range leads me to believe we might see further downside. Also based on Elliott wave, if you're into that kind of thing, you can see here we got this 0.5, 0.32, two potential bouncing spots. 62.4 and 61.5 are the rough estimates for that. Those would be the two logical places in which the price would come back down to essentially continue higher from there. We'll likely probably see some good price action in the 60 to 61K range. So if we come down to that level, I expect there to be a lot of support. mainly because we have a lot of control in that range with local price action, and that's important. Okay. All that being said, the 4-hour time frame is still looking pretty solid here. Let's quickly note a couple things. First of all, we're over 50 on the RSI, which is still good, but we're pulling back. Money flow index is low, stochastic swinging down, and we can look at the MACD is still diverging. Okay, so we still have momentum on the downside, and until that momentum shifts, we got to presume it will continue. Okay? We look at that and we combine that with the Ichimoku cloud on the hourly here. We can confirm that while we're still within the cloud, lag and span being free and clear of the price action conversion line below the baseline, we're moments away from the price action, closing effectively below the cloud. And that really is a big deal for me in a lot of ways, because I would say more emphasis on this on the hourly as like a good confirming factor. And being below this area here leads me to believe that we are below a resistance. We've shifted momentum. We've spent too much time in this range. We're likely to continue lower to fill some of these fair value gaps. Okay, so again, on the hourly, just to clarify, there's a fair value gap as low as 61.9, upwards of 62.5. Basically, just means the price moved way too fast and nobody was able to secure profits. So in turn, there's a great chance the price will hit that level. Same thing with a 4-hour time frame as well, down as low as 62.3. Daily time frame also confirms down as low as 61.4. Okay, so we got a consistency of a significant amount of fair value gaps on every time frame. It's kind of compounding the simple fact that we're more likely to see the price pull back than go up, again, for the short-term time frame. So that's kind of my 2 cents there. Hopefully that makes sense and I described that correctly. I appreciate you watching. I hope you learned something. I'm going to post our playout chart here on our Twitter, Telegram, and Discord. If you're not familiar, they look a little something like this. And it's just kind of my thoughts on what's going to happen next. I generally also try to send out trade alerts too. Those are available in our Discord, so make sure if you're part of that, you reference it. It is a newer section here for our community over here in trade alerts, so you can find my general analysis. These are basically just coins that I'm looking at that I'm planning to take trades with. Okay, I usually send those before I send out a signal. Either way, thanks again for watching. I look forward to seeing the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.